What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday afternoon. We have made it through the day. It's about time to get into this slate of games. Today, I have my man Spread with me and my man Joe. This is the first time that we have all been on the same show, so this should be a fun one. How are you guys doing?
Joe,
Good. I had a little bit of a rough patch this weekend. Uh, just a few random things, a little hiccup, but bounce back on the way. Started today.
For sure, for sure. Spread.
happy to join you. Happy to join you again. I can be found on X. I am Spread Gladiator, and that is what I slay.
I hear you. Just getting stuff tweeted out here real quick. All right, guys. Yeah, play of the day Friday. We had two of them. Our Grizzlies first half team total over. It did not hit again for us. Once again, great first quarter, and then second quarter. Sorry if y'all can hear the dogs. There's UPS man or somebody's at the front door.
Marking. Who's the underdog today?
But right. Um, and then we had the what actually was our other play, Joe?
It cashed. Let me see. What was it?
Oh, it was the Pistons. It was actually them. It was them -4.
Spurs. Yep.
Yeah, we actually killed that. We said the Cavs and then the Cavs spread and then the Cavs team match total over, that cashed easy. Pistons and Pistons team total over easy. Warriors and the Warriors team total over, it cashed easy. That was a lot of good picks there. J Bo's in the chat.
My man.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, just like always, if y'all have any questions about any certain games, put them in the chat. With three of us here today, obviously we're going to be talking a little more than normal, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to hit every game. So if there is certain ones that y'all want us to talk about, definitely let us know. But guys, let's just jump right into it. Let's go with the game that I'm been kind of interested in, and that's the Nets, and they are playing the Wizards here. And I still, all day, I've been kind of looking at this. I still don't understand why the Nets are only -3. It looks like you can get them right now at DraftKings at -3 at -108. That seems really cheap to me. Do actually either of y'all have a play on this game?
It's not in my top 5 players for today, but I'm on the Nets -3. Easy.
I like the money line a little bit. It's like I said, it's not in my top 5 games I'm paying attention to today. I do like Cameron Johnson. His PRA is looking really good today as far as the Brooklyn Nets in Washington. But if I had to take a team play, it would just be their money line, and it's solely off the system because they've won last of the four out of the last 5 games, so they seem to be streaking. But the odds are a little bit out of my realm.
They also they won 4 out of the last 5 over the spread as well, and those spreads are typically harder to beat, like spreads. So they were underdogs by 11 to Philly. They won outright.
Right.
So I mean, whenever you got a large double-digit spread and you win outright, I'm thinking that the books don't have you priced right. With there being a lot of people in and out of the lineups, I don't think the Washington Wizards have figured it all out. Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton, they are really good guys. But like I said, I don't know if they're playing today, for one. Even if they were, they haven't spent that much time together. This Brooklyn team has been together for a while now. I think the most impressive win that they have in the last 5 was beating the Miami Heat 102-86. So this Brooklyn team are playing low scoring, setting up half court defense, all in your face, just play by play. I love it. I love it, bro. Versus a Washington team who's pretty much they know they're the laughing stock in the NBA. They're like they really don't have anything to lose. Like, and normally that's the team that I would try to back, but they're just out there just playing street ball, man. They just out there so they don't get fined, in my opinion. So give me the Nets, man.
Yeah, the other thing for me is the Nets is like as far as them on the road this season, they've been great. As far as actually ATS, they are 19-9-1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really good. To me, this line just seems low, but kind of just like Spread said, I don't know if it's going to make my like top games.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely one that I like want to play. I just don't know if because I already have a pretty big like overall card tonight. I'm just not sure it's going to make that cut.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think the Nets ought to play.
I do too. I'm just not overly confident. It's just not the top 5. Like there are just some more games I'm more confident in. Like J-Bo mentioned, the Hawks and Heat. I really, really like Miami and what Miami is doing. Like having Bam Adebayo at the 4 has made such a huge difference for this team that they are actually starting to get some respectability. Like now that they've gotten past the Jimmy Butler drama, Tyler Hero is stepping in where he should be as the team leader. Bam back in natural position. There are just a lot of things going for the Heat right now. Now, they might have lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, but honestly, Giannis is just sometimes hard to beat. But if you go back to a very, very competitive team in the Toronto Raptors, they were able to get out with the win.
Yeah, I'm going to be super quick here on this game. As most of y'all know by now, these are two teams that I don't really bet on or either like really bet their games. I believe they're both on a back-to-back here. The Hawks came off a really high-scoring game. I mean, like most of their games are. But, I mean, it was a very high-scoring game. What did they put up of?
145 to 148.
I mean,
143 to 148.
I mean, yeah, so an extremely high-scoring game there. I believe most of their starters logged a good amount of minutes, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that one, because I would want to lean towards the Hawks side, but because of that, just once again, this is a game that I'm personally going to stay away from. Joe, do you have anything here?
I will look at a Miami Heat team total just because the Hawks are known for not playing defense. The way that the Heat score is very efficient, meaning Bam or Khalil Ware, those two guys, they have a tall lineup like Spread was mentioning earlier. And Clint, he just does not do good at all on back-to-backs. Like Clint Capella does not do good at all. And then Ogongwu, sorry if I effed up his name. He's better, but again, he's not going to be able to shoulder all those minutes. And I think the Andrew Wiggins trade, his trade to Miami, the books haven't caught up with how to price Miami just yet. So I would look at a Miami Heat team total. But I don't know. The Hawks are just scary good on the spread with this being a very small spread and them just coming off of a back-to-back. I'm a fan of back-to-backs as long as you're at home, but I think they played in Detroit yesterday, which I'm not a fan of. So they're going back home today.
Yeah.
I see a world in which Miami wins easily, but the Hawks are so good against the spread, I'm a little nervous. So I would look for that reason. I would look at the Miami Heat team total over. That's how I would lean this game.
Gotcha. All right, fellas, let's move on. And J-Bo
play. So I really do.
Go ahead.
Piggybacking off of what Joe said, I really like the first half money line for Miami, and I like where it's priced. So you can get the first half spread at less than a point for 110. Just the cost in itself makes it worth it. With Miami having a little bit more rest, they're going to rely on their length. That would be my play in this game.
Well, that makes sense. It really does. But like I said, once again, this is a game I like personally do not want anything to do with. J-Bo, this game here we are definitely going to get to because I know we have some pretty strong thoughts there. So we're going to save that one till a little bit later. But let's jump into another game where I know here actually like I have some like pretty strong thoughts, and that's the Clippers are playing the Pistons. This line, as far as the favorite, is now flipped. The Pistons are now a 1.5 point favorite. Yep.
I know.
I know Kawhi's out. Who else is out?
Norman Powell.
Oh, okay,
Only
yeah,
person I was waiting on.
yeah.
So I think he's more important than Kawhi, in my opinion. I take. I said it.
Well, to me, all right. So as far as the Pistons go, Pistons have kind of like been like one of our teams. You know, like we've been kind of riding them now, and like they've been playing well. They're a good young team, and they're just out there playing hard and actually playing really well. And like I said last week on our show, the Pistons, you don't think of them as a higher scoring team, but they've been putting up points, guys. They like really have. I mean, their last few games 148, 125, 128, 132. I mean, they're like putting up points here. But as far as defense, besides last game versus the Hawks, we'll have to look up, you know, that game's a pass. But besides that, they are holding teams down too. I mean, they're just playing well, you know. And as far as the Clippers, they are on a back-to-back here too. They have not been good all season long on the second night of an actual back-to-back. Also on the road, Clippers have just not been a good road team. And now with those actually two guys out, this seems like definitely a Pistons spot to me. So what I'm looking at instead of just playing the Pistons here is, like I said, because the Pistons have been putting up points. And then as far as the Clippers, they have been an under team for like most of the actual year now. But if you look at their last 10 games, they are 8-2 to the full game over. They actually have been giving up more like points now, but as far as their totals have come down, I think a little bit too low.
Yeah.
So now tonight you're getting a Pistons team total. Let me see where it's at now. Getting a Pistons team total in the like 111 range, and
Mash that.
And I just think that's too low, guys. So as far as my first play on the show is going to be the Detroit Pistons team total over. Joe, do you have anything on this game here?
Is that the play of the day? Because I like that a lot. I actually know that the haters are going to say, hey, the Clippers beat the Pistons 5 times in a row, the last 5 times they played. So what? First off, one, a lot of those games were before 2024, right? New team, new rosters. You're not comparing apples to apples. 2, the Pistons have been on a tear, scoring the ball. At the beginning of the season, I think they were more defensive-minded focused. Now they figured out offense in such a way. They've also used their pace and their youth to their advantage. They score very efficiently. And about that game yesterday, you could pretty much throw it out. I mean, the Atlanta Hawks could not miss from beyond the arc, and they still lost the game. So that's letting you know that this Detroit team is solid. Like, I was looking at the box score. The Atlanta Hawks shot 21 for 45. That's damn near 50% from the three-point line. That is insanely good, right? And it's not like the Pistons weren't playing defense. Like, if a guy puts a shot up, the best offense always beats a good defense, right? Usually, some days you just have days where you cannot miss. And the Hawks had that day, and they still lost the game. So Detroit finds a way to win. That was the purpose of what I was saying. I locked in Detroit at the money line at 125. I don't know what it is now. I'm not a fan of you only giving me 2.5, 3 points. I might as well just take the money line.
Yep.
I mean, and just ride it out. And the reason why I do that is because I track my ROI really close. So I have a bigger play on the money line and a smaller sprinkle on the 2.5.
Love it.
I actually like this game as well. The last time that the Pistons scored Under 100 points was January 27th. But in between that time, their scoring totals have ranked from 148. Yeah, we know that last night was just, even if you have a Cade Cunningham scoring regression, this team is very capable of putting up 120 points. Easy. They just did it against the Spurs. They just did it against Chicago twice in a row.
Yep.
And they scored 112 against a very good Charlotte team. They hung with the Cavaliers 115 to 118, and it really makes the over 111 and a half team total a no-brainer play for me.
No, bro.
Yeah.
I think that's the POD, man. Because I saw the game yesterday, and the Pistons shot 72% from the free throw line. They also shot 60% from the field. So and every single starter was in double digits. That means they're sharing the ball. They're playing like a team. Cade had 12 assists. Jalen Duren, the big man, had 6. So everybody's passing the ball. It's contagious. I really like it. I love it.
Well, yeah, as far as right now, there's my favorite play so far. There's a few other ones that I definitely wants to talk through though. So we'll definitely come back to this and actually see if that's what we like. But actually, all like 3 of us like it. So that's definitely up at the number 1 spot. So like far, got to take a break for just a second. Got a question from actually Monzy man here. He has me going way off the actual board here at University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Whoever thought I'm actually most people are not actually looking at actually their game. But yeah, Monzy, as far as that side, as far as actually laying the points, that's like all I could do here. My number is not much over that. It's at minus 15.7. So as far as line value, I'm not really seeing a lot. But these two teams have actually already played this season. And I believe McNeese beat them by 30. And actually that was on the road. So actually now with them being back home, I think the slight line, I think the only reason you're even getting this line where it is because McNeese, as far as actually ATS has not been very good. They're 3-7 their last 10 games. So that I think is the only reason why you're probably getting this actual line here. So yeah, man, if I had to play it, I would lay it. All right, that was a quick little college break for us. Let's get back into it, guys. Let's see where we're at. Also, chat. If there's any games you want us to talk about, please throw them in the chat, and we'll be happy to go over them. Bulls and the 76ers. I think Jabo said something about it. Okay, yeah. I'm going to let y'all actually take this one. This is another game. These are teams, like y'all know, that don't really play. So I'm going to let y'all take it over.
It's very interesting. The Chicago and Philadelphia are both 2 precarious teams. Like when they go into the locker room, both teams ask the question, what are we playing for? We don't even know how long Joel Embiid is going to be a Sixer. And right now, one of the Chicago Bulls star players is Josh Giddey. That in itself lets you know where exactly these franchises are. And honestly, they're as happy as they are to have the ball to share and not being able to rely on Zach LaVine's 25 points per game. They are starting to slowly but surely struggle scoring the ball. If I had to have a play in this game, just because none of them they're just not an offensively built powerhouse right now, I would really go with the under 115.5 team total. Because they typically don't even play. I've been watching the Chicago and Philadelphia series for a couple of years now. They do not play well against the 76ers. So I would really like that under 115 play.
So I'm going to echo your thoughts almost verbatim, but I'm on the under full game team total. Last 5 times these teams matched up against each other, all 5 games was significantly under the total. I mean, like the totals will be in the 230s, and these teams will barely put up 200. So like it's significantly below the totals. Of the 76ers last 5 games, 3 of them went under. Under the Chicago Bulls last 5 games, 3 of them went under. So both of these teams last 5 games have an under. The under's 3-2 for both of these squads, and then head to head, it's 5-0 for the under. So I'm like, yo, just give me the under. It's struggle ball. The Bulls are pretty much just like they're letting their rookies go out and do whatever the hell they want because it's more so like a free for all. Like who's gonna stay next year? Who's gonna be part of the rebuild process? Philly hasn't told us yet, but we already know what their motto is. We need flag. Trust the process. It'll come out in about a week or two. But Philly, I'm surprised when Embiid does play, if we're just being honest. They look much better without him, in my opinion. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Philly blow the Bulls out tonight. But they've been so horrible against the spread. It's like they're 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games. So why would I back them when I could just back the under safely? Both of these squads are going to struggle. I mean, I expect Philly to win outright, but you never know. So,
like I said, like you said, Joe, this is a developmental time for the Chicago Bulls. I don't even expect them to push their starters hard. Even if it's a close game in the first half, I don't expect them to push the starters hard. I expect the backup center for the Bulls to get a lot of minutes.
yeah.
And really allowing Nikola Vucevic to get a little bit of rest. One of my favorite props of the day is Nikola Vucevic under 30 points and rebounds, partially because he's probably not even going to be in the paint very much this game.
Shooting threes, doing whatever the hell you want to do. I got you.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna just actually leave it there. I have absolutely nothing on this game. But you know what, Joe? I'm not sure, but I think you're on the other side of me here. So, tell me why Denver is actually not a good play.
Oh, it's easy. The Pacers have won on the money line like 17 of the last 21. That's 1, and they've covered. So that's 2. They're really good ATS. They're at home. They're 5-point underdogs. They've been disrespected. Their roster is deeper. Denver is more injured. They're the more injury-prone team right now. Denver always play down the competition. You can't do that with this Pacers team. This Pacers team, they're going to come out, punch you in the mouth first quarter, second quarter, whatever. And I just think the Pacers are in an overall better spot.
Well, for me here.
Also, one last thing.
Okay.
The Lakers gave you the blueprint on how to beat the Nuggets. They just gave it to you. When Jokic gets the ball, swarm them, make everybody else beat you. Jokic looked frustrated last game. He wasn't getting foul calls. They swarmed him. The Pacers have younger players who are very good at swarming. So give me the Pacers plus the 5. I think they went on the money line, but give me the plus the 5.
For me here, Pacers, they just played actually like last night. So you have Denver. They are on the road here. They did have to travel, but they do have the rest here, and they are coming off a loss. And to me, it's kind of like Boston. As everybody knows, when Boston loses a game, I always play them on the spread the next game no matter what. I don't care who the team is. I don't care what the spread is. That is an automatic play. And for me, I feel like Denver it's not at the same level, but they're definitely up there with them though. So I just feel like I understand like all the Pacers points, or all the points like you actually made, and actually like I've been hearing actually all day long. But that is all I've been hearing all day long is Pacers. I haven't heard Denver. I don't even think one actually single time.
That's because they haven't beat a team above 500 in the last 10 games they played. I mean, granted, it's not their fault. You play who's on the schedule, but not a single team over 500 they've played, and they've played down to those teams as well. So I don't. They let teams get too close. Like there's no way on this blue planet that the Charlotte Hornets should ever come close to beating the Nuggets, and it happened, like
Correct.
twice actually. So yeah, nah, I even a team like the Pacers, young, disrespected. Vegas still don't respect them, so I'll take the 5 with the home team. I mean, if I lose, I lose. I don't see them losing by more than 5 though.
I don't either, but I'm expecting a very defensive matchup. I don't know. This game just screams hard-nosed defense to me.
These teams, this actual total is really high. Surprised it's actually not a little bit higher. Defense is not really, these teams are really known for. They're known for very high scoring games. But that was one thing I also found when I was searching around was Pacers on an actual back-to-back. They're actually team total unders have actually hit at a very good clip. So actually, like, that was another one of the reasons why I was kind of like it was just one of those things that made me lean to the Denver side. Just actually seeing that. But when everything comes down to it here, I think I'm just going to stay off. Because everybody today, Joe, and everybody else today has made some very, very valid points. And there are some plays that I definitely like more. So
I forgot my most popular point. The thing that I like, the most efficient scorer is always the guy that scores in the paint. Denver gives up, they're 26th worst in the NBA as far as points allowed in the paint as a team. And that's primarily because Jokic isn't running both sides of the floor. And he's also not a help defense. He is horrible at help defense. We always know Jokic is a triple-double getter, but his help defense is beyond trash. That's why any team that cuts to the basket, which is what the Pacers can make a bread and butter on, you can beat the Nuggets. The Lakers literally just did it. They had nobodies cut into the rim. These guys are still in the NBA, like putting up a layup with either hand. They're able to do it. Like the Pacers are younger, fresher legs, even off a back-to-back. Give them to me. Like the Lakers embarrassed the Nuggets and showed you the blueprint on how to beat them. It's still fresh. So teams are going to watch their film and they're going to do what just worked. I'd be surprised if they don't double and trap Jokic to get the ball out of his hands, make somebody else beat him. You don't even know if Gordon or Jamal Murray are playing. Jamal Murray has been on a tear from three-point land, but if he's not playing, that's not going to do you any good. So you can't shoot your way back into the game. Yeah. Give me the Pacers, man.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, guys, we're about to go into this other game, but if there's any other games that y'all want us to go over, drop them in the chat. J-Bo, he said Wolves are 12.5-point dogs. This is one of those weird games where they just played last night. Is the schedule this year really weird to anybody else?
Yeah. They're doing it. It's more so in a player's favor type thing. So, for example, you're normally playing the same team you just played a couple days ago to give the players a little bit of the rest from the back-to-backs. So a lot of the players of the player union voiced their opinion about back-to-backs, safety, so many games in a year, this and that, that now they're starting to schedule those games back-to-back in the same city to give those players a little bit of a rest, because it's hard when you're traveling to 5 different cities every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is extremely hard. So, and jet lag is a real thing. I honestly feel like that's why they're doing it.
But that's what I'm saying. They played last night, then having to fly.
Yeah.
Like it's not in the same town. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They're flying back home to play that same team.
Back to back. Like, to me, that's a lot going on.
Well, it's also a mindset. It's a revenge thing, right? Because if you beat me in my home, now the next game I get to play you in your home.
Right.
Like, I think they're doing that for bettors too, to help that money line out. I think Vegas may have some sprinkles in there.
Well, I think also what I like to term clusters of games like this is playoff prep. Realistically, we could see a Minnesota Timberwolves and a OKC Thunder series. But even if we don't, we're able to actually see how these teams compete against each other with these back-to-backs. So I really like how some of the matchups just so happen to be, and they're in the same conference a lot of times. So I think these back-to-backs with these teams are really reflective of what playoffs could potentially look like a little bit of foreshadowing of potential series.
I like it. I like it. Also, the play-in tournament. This is what, year 2 or 3. I'm loving it because now teams are like, you're getting playoff type atmospheres in early February, March. Like, usually this would be the time where people didn't care, players would take off, load management, whatever. But now those teams with a lot of rookies who don't get paid like that, they have a financial interest to play their ass off because they get that check from the play-in tournament. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Well, guys, as far as this game here, I actually know like y'all have some plays here. I personally don't. The way I see it is like, I mean, like actually we just said, these teams just played last night. They played a really high scoring game. And that's not what either one of these teams really do. That's not really their like style. So for me, I think we see more of an actual like defensive type game. I think that number shows you that. What's the total? It's actually like 28. That's what the total even says to like me. I'm not going to play the under here just actually because I think the number is pretty much right. But what do y'all have to say?
Well, 2 things. One, I don't see a world where the Timberwolves lose by more than 12.5. I just don't see it. The Timberwolves are down 2 of their key starters in Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. It doesn't matter. Naz Reid is very underrated still. I wholeheartedly believe because of the way he outplayed Karl Anthony Towns last year, that's why they were able to confidently make that trade. So I'm on his PRA. I'm also on the T-Wolves team total over 107. I just don't see a world in which Ant-Man alone is good enough to get you over that team total because he can drop 40 just like SGA can drop 40 on any given night. So I'm on the team total over 107 and Naz Reid's points, rebounds, and assists over 29.5. Those are my 2 for this one.
Well, J-Bo had to be in the back when we were having our powwow before the show started. We obviously had J-Bo as a fly on the wall because I was definitely focused on this plus 12.5 for Minnesota, and for several reasons. One, they're very good with covering the spread. Minnesota has turned it around after All-Star break and become very, very good against the spread. Secondly, they've covered the spread very well on the road. This is a team that plays absolutely phenomenal on the road. And lastly, Anthony Edwards enjoys going against the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's something about it's almost like the Minnesota Timberwolves circle the Oklahoma City Thunder on the schedule. Like, this is going to be a fun matchup to watch for years to come. So I'm definitely not expecting the Minnesota Timberwolves to lose by more than 10. So having it at 12.5 is really just a gift of the points. As JD would say, lay the points.
Like it. Sorry, the dogs are going crazy again here. J-Bo, these other 2 games we're actually about to go ahead and hit, man. As far as North Alabama, Central Arkansas, man, I actually think you actually know what's going on there. On the North Alabama side, I actually laid the points there. Let me see where the line's at now. Give me just a second. I laid. You can actually get a better number now. It's kind of surprising, to be honest with you. You can get North Alabama at minus 10.5 currently. That's side that I definitely like, man. I'm actually just going to keep on riding them. I actually make this line just over 15. So the line values there. Everything that I am looking for is definitely there. So for me, that is a play. That actually is a client play. So yeah, just going to go ahead and tell everybody that now. Guys, the J-Bo wants to talk the Trailblazers and the Jazz. Do either actually one of y'all have anything there? Because I don't.
I took the over in that game. So I love games like this where most of the public's not going to bet because it's ugly. In my opinion, just doing this for some years, you can find a ton of value in lines like that. The lines also don't move that much throughout the day. Those are two things that I look for. So it lets me know that the line is probably priced right or you just got a lot of value, right? Just looking at this head to head, 4 out of the last 5 have soared over their totals. That's one. 5 out of the Utah Jazz last 5 games have all went over their totals. They're either winning outright and beating the Houston Rockets, which we all know that I saw that painful game, or they're losing and giving up a lot of points. Either way, it's good for the over. Portland, we just saw them stomp out the Hornets 141-88. So like they found their offensive rhythm, and 3 of their last 5 have went over. So you have an over on the Jazz side, 5-0, over on Portland side, 3 out of 5, head to head, 5-0 to the over. I don't see a world in which the over doesn't hit. So I'm taking the over. I don't have to worry about who's gonna do what. Like, too many ways this number can soar over.
The only reason I have to disagree with you, Joe, is the injury report for the Jazz. If I had to lean aside in this game, it would be the Jazz. But what makes me back off is the atrocious injury report. You got Lauri Markkanen out, Walker Kessler out, John Collins out, Jordan Clarkson out, Colin Sexton out. Who's going to be scoring the points for the Jazz is the main question in this matchup.
That's true. It doesn't matter. Players off the bench, like even if they lose and get their teeth stomped in, players off the bench are trying to make a name for themselves.
That's true.
They're trying to get known. What's the quickest way to do it? Putting the ball in the hole. So even if they get their teeth stomped out, which they probably will, I do see the Trailblazers being able to hang up, 120-ish. So I think that'll help us out.
Well, this is a little bit of risk. I'm not going to say this is an official play, but I would say if I have to have a lean in this game, it would have to be the 6.5 spread, simply because they play very well at home. 2, they've covered 75%. They've covered the last 3 out of their 4 games as a whole. And lastly, they play very, very well against Portland.
That's true. But the reason why I took the over is because of the injury report. So, I mean, if you're going to say take the Jazz plus 7.5, that to me is more risky than just taking the over. I expect them to get their teeth stomped in because everybody's injured. But, it doesn't matter who puts the ball in the hole if I take the over. And the Jazz have, to your point, been very good against the spread at home. So if they can cover the spread, I know that they'll be able to hit They'll be able to help us hit the total. So I take out some of that fear factor risk of who the hell is this guy by taking just the over. Just because worst case scenario, we just saw Portland hang up 141 against a team that only put up 88. So their motto, and who's their coach? Chauncey Billups. Who did he play for? The Detroit Pistons. They're known for rumble in the jungle. They will put their foot on your neck and not take it off. Mm-hmm. They don't care who you are. They're going to run the score up. So if I know I have a coach like that, I'm willing to back a team like that. Also, DeAndre Ayton's out. He's been my favorite center, but Simons, that little kid can ball. Or Simmons, Anthony Simmons, he can ball, man. Like, those guys are they were able to let go of Damian Lillard for a reason. They saw something in this kid. And now he's playing the Utah Jazz, who give up the most points to point guards. Yeah, he's going off. And I don't see a world in which, I just see this total as doable.
Like it. All right, fellas. Let's go to the last game on the board here. And it's the other game that I definitely have interest in. It's just figuring out how I want to play it. So I'm going to talk it out with you fellas right now. That is Charlotte Hornets are going to play the Sacramento Kings. Um, start off with let me actually start with the Kings first. Their last game, I faded them. I faded their defense, and actually, like I told y'all then, I'm going to keep trying to find spots to fade this defense because as far as this Kings lineup to me is just says offense. It just the defense is just not really there. Okay, so nothing has changed there. So you still have that going for the Kings. Then on the Hornets side, okay, you had them their last game. They got their ass absolutely whooped. They only put up 88 points.
Yeah.
An NBA team only putting up 88 points. Okay, so to me, now versus a defense that I know is going to give up points, and Ball is actually in there playing, so that's another for me is another very key thing.
Yeah.
To me, this looks like a Hornets get right spot, as in like at least score some points. So that's where I'm looking between the spread, which looks like you can get a plus 11, a plus 11 and a half,
Insane.
and then also you can get their team total, I believe at 110 and a half. Let me pull it back up. Yes, you can get their team total at 110 and a half, which, for them versus some teams, I'd be like, all right, there's right. But against this Kings team, though, I feel like this is it's just a different type of spot, though. So
The Kings have
what
been
I,
giving over 120. That's what they averaged over the last 5. So 110 is not unrealistic. Just
so actually, like, what actually do y'all like about this game? And then would y'all personally play if you do like the Hornets side? Would you play the team total or actually would you play the spread?
You want to go first, Joe?
I'll take a stab. So I'm all over the Hornets plus 11 and a half. First thing you got to realize is the Kings are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. So you can't cover a spread. And now you're going to give me a double-digit spread to a team that's got their teeth stomped in? Yeah, I'm probably going to take the team that just got beat down like that. The other thing that I'm on is Yusuf Nurkic. Brandon Williams is not playing today. Nurkic, right? He used to be a starter for the Suns. One, he's a very underrated passer. Two, he's a big man in the paint who's actually going to pull Sabonis into the paint. So his point line was at 7.5 this morning. I'm like, there's no way this dude can't give me one layup a quarter. Like, that's sickening. And he's a starter now because Brandon Williams is out. So I very much like that prop. But I see the Hornets covering this pretty easily. After that embarrassing loss, they have to turn it around. Like I don't see a world where you get beat by 50 damn points and not cover an 11 and a half spread to a team that's 1-4 against the spread.
So I'm gonna say this, and it's probably gonna come out wrong, but I have a very interesting relationship with Zach LaVine. I follow the Chicago Bulls very closely. Was very excited when they traded for DeMar DeRozan, and then watched the dumpster fire. Was these two non-defensive playing just attempting to? I don't even know what you call that Chicago Bulls experiment with DeMar DeRozan, and
because it wasn't defense.
and Zach LaVine, and I just for the life of me can't understand the process of the Sacramento Kings front office in trying this pair again with a more traditional center. I just don't understand where they expect this to go where it hasn't been already.
It was about money. They had to get rid of Fox, who was worth more than LaVine. Yeah. So you get to pair DeMar DeRozan up with somebody he's already played with, and you get him at a cheaper price tag. That had to be what it was about. Like, nothing else makes sense.
Nothing else makes sense. But also you realize, like, your defense is going to suffer. And beyond that, the Charlotte Hornets, they typically take losses pretty personal. When you're an organization, a small ball organization such as the Charlotte Hornets, and somebody beats you 141 to 88, like the Portland Trailblazers just did, you're going to smell blood in the water and try to shoot the skin off of the ball. I would definitely evaluate the over in this game, at least for the Charlotte Hornets, and them losing by 11. I would honestly feel comfortable with taking the spread with the Hornets or the team total because they're gonna naturally have a positive progression because you just don't score.
88.
It's just about time for them to hit an offensive regression. Like you have to see some positivity. This is the third or fourth time in the last 5 games that they've scored around 80 points.
Well, they put up 97 against the Lakers, who have the number 1 defense in the last 5 games, which did shock me when I heard that on ESPN this morning. Like, wait, what? So you have the number 1 defense, and you scored 97 on them. You went to Denver in the high altitude and scored 115, and then you got your teeth stomped in Portland, only putting up 88, and now you're going to Sacramento and the point total's at 110. Like, what am I missing? Like, you can do that. You're capable of 110. That team averages giving up 100 more than 120 in the last 5. So you should be able to hit less than 10 points of the average for them. Like,
well, guys, after all that, to me, I'm actually going to personally just actually play them both. I'm going to play them both for the same size. So yeah, give me the spread and also give me the team total over. Guys, if there's any other games you want to talk about, put them in the chat right now. We're about to end the show, so throw anything in there if you actually want us to hit on it really quick. But guys, it's time to figure out the play of the day, and I really think we know what that is. I'm just going to go and put it up here on the screen. Pistons team total over 111.5. To me, I think this is the strongest play, really out of like any game. I actually have the biggest edge here. As far as the Pistons side, I don't actually mind it. As far as actually earlier in the day, you actually could have got them at +3. So like, and actually, like, I understand the guys are out. That's why the line moved, but I still don't like betting into
the line movement
that end of it. So because of that, as far as the team total, that's why I personally like that more.
Yeah, I like the team total more as far as it won't miss type situation. But when I saw those guys on the injury report, I locked in the money line at +125 because I knew it was going to shift once they ruled those guys out. So, yeah, I locked in the money line early for that very reason.
Yep.
Go
ahead.
Pardon my Jay had a question to tag. I'm assuming you're talking about the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah,
that wasn't
Kansas.
Is he talking about Kansas?
Yeah.
The only play that I really have for them is the under 75.5, just because they don't seem very comfortable playing on the road. So 15 out of the 19 last away games have went under. So the only play I would have for them is under 75 because they're just not really an offensive team. Even though, yes, they did have an amazing offensive showcase against the Oklahoma State. They won 96-64, but I'm definitely expecting their totals to take a step back.
Well, for me, this is a game that I'm not going to bet just because I have other plays that I like a lot more than this. But, man, this is – you want to talk about an ultimate buy low spot, man. Kansas here. It definitely is. You have them and them on the road. They just haven't been playing well. They've been playing like bad, to be honest. And then you have the Buffs here on actually the other side. They've actually covered 5 straight games. So you're kind of selling high on actually them and then buying low on actually this Kansas side. You can get a -6.5 currently. That's the only way that I could play it. Let me see what I have this number at. I know it's well over that though, because this line really should be a lot higher. I have this at actually almost 10 points. Like I said, so yeah, this to me is the ultimate buy low spot. If I didn't have as many other plays tonight that I actually like, I would actually probably BH on this game. And then I should pardon my J, which is a great name too. Kansas or either UConn more of a dumpster fire right now. I'd have to say Kansas, man. Kansas was supposed to be one of those teams. I mean, like they actually were a national top team, and they have not been playing like it, man, whatsoever. So if I had to pick one of those two teams to be more of a national dumpster fire, Kansas would have to be what I would say. Do you guys have any thoughts there?
No.
Yeah, it's actually cool if you don't.
I'm not really the college basketball guru, man.
Well, guys, we're going to wrap things up here. Once again, we have over 300 people here live with us. We definitely appreciate y'all. We're just trying to grow this show. This is actually still a new show here for us. And we're just trying to grow this show. If actually like you cap games, if you're on actually like X, if you throw out your plays on X and you would like to come on the show, definitely hit me up. We're always looking for actually more people to actually come on the show. We'll get to one more question here from actually Aiden, because Aiden is actually usually in the chat with us. So I'm going to answer this one. Are Cavs the most surprising team? Jeff?
Nope. I knew the Cavs were going to be trouble last year. Like, just looking at them, and then they've also made roster improvements. Getting DeAndre Hunter right after the trade deadline was key, and hardly nobody talked about it. The Cavs are a not talked about team. Honestly, I think they got the best backcourt in the NBA right now, and Garland and Mitchell. Then you go give me size with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. They can beat you any type of way. There's a reason their record is the way that it is. If your weakness is in the paint, they will exploit you with Allen and Mobley. If your weakness is the guard and the three-point area, Garland and Mitchell will feast. There's too many ways for this team to beat you. And couple that with their deep. Garland and Mitchell don't have to play 50 minutes a day. They can come sit out whenever they need to. So they're going to be fresh going into playoff time. I love the Cavs, dude. Like, to me, Cavs, Boston, and OKC, between those three, I'm going to just put a future ticket on because one of them three are going to win, in my opinion. And honestly, sneaky hot take, the way that the Lakers looked against Denver, that needs to be talked about because I did not see that coming.
Yep.
So I would say no. Like they've been a top 5 team in the East, or like fringe top 5 team in the East for the last couple of years. So calling them the most surprising team of the year would be a little tough right now for me, honestly. And this is going to be really unpopular, but I like the Indiana Pacers. Like, they've really come out and made a statement for themselves, at least show themselves to be a respectable team in the East. Compared to, no one was talking about them, and yet they're close to being I think they're close to the 5th or 6th seed right now, which is completely surprising. No one expected that.
Yeah. For this one here, Joe, I understand what actually you said. I'm going to say yes, just in the fact of how good they've actually been. Like, yes, like I did expect them to be good, but not, I guess not quite this good. So like when actually like you're talking about it like that, I would have to say yes. And then to end the show, guys, I'm going to let y'all answer this one here. Who is your best scorer of all time?
Besides Michael Jeffrey Jordan, right?
I'm actually thinking like he's asking as far as anybody. Because actually some people would actually not say that. So
I don't know who they are. They aren't on this live stream.
Larry Bird literally said this man was Jesus disguised as Michael Jordan. Like, and Larry Bird is one of the biggest shit talkers of NBA history. And he was a Celtic? Like, nah.
Yeah.
Celtic giving love to the Bulls is unheard of. So yeah.
I ghost wrote The Last Dance.
Second is probably a hot take. I think Kevin Durant, personally. His mid game has no holes. He's the most efficient mid game shooter of all times. He can shoot the three. You can't guard him. He can score at will. And then behind him, I would probably say Kyrie Irving. Like 0 holes in his game, layup package, right or left. Just as deadly from the three. He can shoot logos. Excuse me. We saw what he did to Steph Curry 1-on-1. Every time he matches up against Steph is chopped liver. So, excuse me. So I got Jordan, KD, and Kyrie, just from recency bias.
All right, like it. But yeah, guys, 10 the show here. Jordan, yeah, and it's not even close. For actually me. Guys, play today. Pistons, team total over 111.5. Spread, tell them where to find you at.
You can find me on X at The Spread Gladiator. There is a link tree in my bio. The reason I point that out is because I also dabble deeply in player props. So if you ever want to look at my player props of the day, they typically don't get discussed, but you can find those in the link tree.
Nice. Joe, tell them where to find you and take us out of here.
I'm at Lay Off the Juice on Twitter /X. I'm also doing a free $20 giveaway to get me out of my cold streak. So, hey, if you want a free $20, you literally just have to click the like button. That's all you got to do to be considered. If I don't go at least 3 out of 5, I'm giving away $20 just because. So,
nice.
I don't like cold streaks. I pay to get out of them. Literally.
All right, Joe. Do the thing.
There we go. You know what my boy DJ Khaled said? You either win with us or watch us win. Either way, let's fucking win, baby.
Let's fucking win. See you guys.